I was 10 years old the first time I met Julie. She had just moved into our small town in Missouri with her parents. They were quiet people, polite, but something about them stood out. Julie and I became friends almost instantly. She was funny, curious, and always seemed a little different. Not in a bad way, just different. Her parents, though, were another story. They were deeply religious. Not the kind of religious you see on Sundays at church. I mean every single day, strict, heavy. Their entire lives seemed built around rules and rituals I didn't fully understand. Julie didn't go to school like the rest of us. She was homeschooled, always under her mother's watchful eye. At first I thought it was kind of cool. She got to stay home while the rest of us sat through long classes. But over time, I noticed she never really had the freedom the other kids did. When I'd ask if she wanted to come to the park or hang out after dark, her parents always said no. She wasn't allowed to spend the night at anyone's house. She wasn't allowed to go to birthday parties. Her world was her house, her church, and the small patch of grass in her backyard. And yet, despite all that, Julie smiled. She laughed with me. She told me stories. She became my best friend. I didn't know it then, but there was a reason for all those rules. A reason for the way her parents hovered. A reason that would haunt me for the rest of my life. I was 11 when the sirens came. It was a quiet afternoon. Kids were riding bikes, sprinklers were on, and everything felt normal. Then, out of nowhere, 3 police cars pulled up to Julie's house. Neighbors gathered on the sidewalks. Curtains moved. Everyone was watching. 2 officers walked to the door. One of them knocked hard. The other kept his hand on his holster. Julie's mom opened the door, smiling like nothing was wrong. She always had that smile. But the moment she saw the uniforms, the color drained from her face. They asked her to step outside. She tried to argue, but the officers pushed past her. Within minutes, Julie's dad was let out in handcuffs. Julie stood frozen on the porch, clutching a stuffed bear. She looked so small, so confused. She wasn't crying, she wasn't speaking, just staring, like she had no idea what was happening. The neighborhood was silent except for the radios crackling from the police cars. Then, the door slammed shut behind the officers, and Julie disappeared inside. That was the last time I ever saw her in that house. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Julie, about the police cars, about her parents being taken away. The next morning, I asked my mom what had happened. She sat me down at the kitchen table. Her eyes were red, like she hadn't slept either. "Sweetheart," she said softly, "Julie isn't who you think she is." I didn't understand. She took a deep breath. Julie was taken years ago. She was kidnapped when she was just 4 years old, from a Walmart in Oklahoma. The words didn't make sense. My chest felt tight. Her voice shook as she continued. "The people you thought were her parents, they weren't. They lost a daughter of their own, a little girl about Julie's age, and instead of grieving, they stole someone else's child." I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh, to tell me it was a mistake, but she didn't. It was real. Julie, my best friend, had been living in my town under a lie, and I had never known. A few days later, my dad came home holding an old newspaper. He spread it out on the kitchen table, smoothing the yellowed pages with his hands. "Look," he said quietly. There it was, a headline in bold letters. Little girl abducted from Walmart in Oklahoma. The article had a grainy photo, a smiling 4-year-old with bright eyes. Her name was Julie. I felt my stomach twist. It was her. The article explained everything: how she vanished one afternoon while shopping with her mother, how no one saw who took her, how the search stretched for weeks, then months until hope faded. My dad tapped the page. "Her," he whispered. "That's your Julie." I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The story described how the couple, those people I thought were her parents, had lost a daughter the year before. A car accident. She was gone in an instant. And in their grief, in their madness, they took someone else's child to fill the hole. I pushed the paper away. I didn't want to see it anymore. But the truth was burned into me. Julie's life, my memories, our friendship, all of it was built on a secret stolen from her. 20 years passed. Life moved on, as it always does. I grew up, went to college, got a job, built the kind of life you never think twice about. But Julie, she never left my mind. Sometimes I'd wonder, did she remember me? Did she hate the years she lost? Did she ever find peace after the truth came out? Then, one evening, I got a message request on Facebook. The name stopped me cold. Julie. My hands shook as I opened it. "Hey," the message said. "I don't know if you remember me, but I never forgot you." I sat there staring at the screen, my chest tight. Of course I remembered. We started talking, slowly at first, cautious. Then the words came faster, as if we were kids again, laughing in the backyard. She told me about her life, the struggles, the therapy, the years of trying to understand who she really was. But then she said something that broke me. "You were the only part of that time that felt real. You were my friend, and I want to see you again." For the first time in years, I felt that same warmth I knew as a child, that spark of connection. We made a plan, a meeting place, a date. After everything, the lies, the loss, the stolen years, Julie and I were finally going to stand face to face again. And this time, nothing would take her away. 20 years passed. Life moved on. I grew up, built a career, and tried to forget. But deep down, Julie was always there. Then one night, a message appeared on my phone. "Hey, it's me. Julie." I froze. My heart pounded. She remembered. After all these years, she remembered. We wrote for hours. She told me about the scars, the therapy, the struggle of piecing a stolen life back together. But she also told me this: "You were the only thing that felt real. And I've been waiting to see you again." We chose a place, a time. And as I sit here now, counting the days, I can't shake one thought. The past never truly disappears. It waits. Just like Julie.